Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the West Coast Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Richard Frias Guzman, and I'm recording this on a early Friday morning. It is Friday, January 27th, 2023. Just recording this, wanted to go ahead and talk about actually all three teams today. Just kind of like similar like I've been doing this week. I will be talking about the Dodgers and the Raiders here briefly to kind of open up, give you guys a couple little updates on the teams, and then we'll be doing a little bit of a deeper dive on the Lakers, as they have been having not only just all kinds of stuff going on. Earlier in the week they had their 2 games that they ended up winning against the Grizzlies, and then that comeback victory against the Trailblazers. Unfortunately, had that pretty bad defeat there against the Kings, and then also had the Clippers loss as well. Then they ended up bouncing back, beating the Spurs. You had the return of Anthony Davis, where he had some moments where he looked like old Anthony Davis, not even like a year or so ago, but even this year. Well, also we had Rui Hachimura, his first appearance or his debut as a Laker. So all kinds of stuff that we could talk about when it comes down to Lakers. So we'll get into all of that. So just wanted to go ahead and get this podcast up here for you guys. Hope you guys had a good week and everything as well. I have been having a couple things just going on. I know that I've been doing my best to go ahead and get more consistent here for you guys, and to go ahead and bring a better quality podcast for you guys as well. And I hope you guys have been enjoying the changes and everything that I have been doing. But if you see anything or notice anything or want to help me maybe improve it, give me some ideas maybe on topics you want me to go ahead and cover, certain type of episodes you guys want. Like today, I'm actually going to do a little bit of a look ahead for the Lakers as well, and talk to you about this big road trip that they got going on. And so we'll just, kind of switch it up here and there. I'm really just trying to bring the best quality, best podcast that I can for you guys here each and every day. So with that being said, guys, I do just want to give you guys a quick reminder that you can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Twitter. It's going to be the same handle for both. It's going to be West Coast Pod 702. Again, that's West Coast Pod 702. Then plus you can also go ahead and send me an email as well. There's my email address is going to be westcoastsportspodcast@gmail.com. So if you have any questions, want to bring me up any topics, or even if you just want to chat, I would love to want to talk to any of you guys. So with that being said, let's get right into the podcast here. We're going to first start off with the Dodgers, as there has been a whole lot of news with the Dodgers. It's mainly just, honestly, the one thing I want to bring up is the way that the national media has been talking about the Dodgers. They're already like kind of discounting them or counting them out of any kind of a contention for to make a deep playoff run or whatever. They're looking like the Padres or the Yankees are going to be able to go in and go, or even you have the Phillies who are going to be able to maybe build off of what they did, or the Cubs. There's so many other teams out there that they're throwing out there except for the Dodgers. And in my eyes, I think it's a little disrespectful, but I can also at the other, just to play devil's advocate here, I can also see the other side of it. The Dodgers had some moves that they ended up making where it's gonna force them, maybe not force them, but maybe this is what they wanted to go and do. But it is gonna put them in a position where they're gonna have to play some of the other players that they've had that are younger, that have been maybe waiting for an opportunity to go out and play more. And maybe because we haven't seen them, or maybe because they haven't had much playing time in the major leagues, a lot of people don't know what these guys are going to do. Because I've even heard reports about like the Dodgers starting pitching is not going to be all that great. I'm like, do you know who's pitching for, we have Julio Urias, and who just came off of one of his best seasons ever so far in his short career. And maybe that's the reason why, because it is a short career. Maybe they're trying to see if he can maintain that consistency, maybe bring it up, maybe even improve from that last year, and maybe make a really big contention for Cy Young, which I do think is in his future pretty soon. Maybe this year, maybe next year, something like that. Now, you also have Clayton Kershaw, of course, and I know Kershaw is not the old Kershaw of before, but it's still Clayton Kershaw. He's still going to get you anywhere between around like close to 10 wins, most likely, if he stays healthy. Dustin May, I get it. The guy just got back. Big Red just got back. He still hasn't really gone to his full form yet, or he hasn't completely come back from that injury at this time. Now, I do think that he's going to go ahead and have a resurgence, sort of like Tony Gonsolin. Now, like Tony ended up having a great season. He unfortunately got hurt as well. Came back and it looked like he was still the Tony Gonsolin of that same season. Now, I'm thinking that Dustin May is going to have a similar season like that. And I can understand, again, just to go ahead and see the other side of it, because we want to see if Tony Gonsolin is going to be coming back like the Tony Gonsolin that we saw early last season. Then just to kind of, go from there. I know that there's a couple other younger pitchers that the Dodgers are looking to go ahead and bring up. I believe we even have Danny Duffy, who might still be on the books, who didn't play at all last season. So we have a couple different options when it comes down to that. And if I'm pretty sure that Dave Roberts is going to be looking into doing another 6-man rotation. I don't think he wants to go and do the 5-man rotation as usual, just to kind of keep some of these guys a little bit more fresh, and maybe he might even sneak in a 7th starter in there every once in a while. It is 162 games. You definitely want to make sure that you're doing whatever you can in order to go ahead and spread out some of these games for some of these pitchers, even maybe some of your position players as well. You always hear about these major league players who kind of burn out at the end of the season. They're been doing so well, and not to go and bring up last season or to open up that sore, or to open up that wound, but I'm pretty sure that's kind of what happened last season. We weren't coming in hot. The Padres, the Phillies, they were the ones that came in hot, and then ended up overall moving forward and everything from there. But it is what it is. I mean, it's kind of like that with every sport, even with basketball, even with football as well. Whatever team is coming in healthy and hot, like on some sort of a hot streak, that's who's going to win it. So with that being said, though, I do just want to transition over really quick over to the Raiders, as they're as well in their off season now, but the NFL is still well underway. You have the conference championships now. You have the NFC going with the Philadelphia Eagles, and then as well the San Francisco 49ers. I am thinking that the Eagles are just a team that can't be stopped. I think that the 49ers, maybe, I don't want to call it luck streak or anything like that, but I mean, you're being this successful with a rookie quarterback. The defense is great. You have a great offensive pieces and everything as well. So I mean, you have really great. You can understand why the 49ers are winning and everything, and why they've been having success so far. But I'm thinking that their luck is just going to run out at some point. It's I really, and it's crazy because Jalen Hurts is a really young quarterback as well. But I am thinking that he's going to find some success in this year as well. So we'll have to go and see what happens with that. And the AFC side, me being a Raider fan, of course, I am rooting for the Cincinnati Bengals. I am hoping that Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati defense can figure it out. Jamar Chase, that they can figure out something, in order to go and get through and beat the Chiefs. I'm really thinking it's also going to come down to the health of Patrick Mahomes. We'll see how that ankle is. We'll see how he's looking, or if he's going to even play. We'll, just have to wait and see. Now, the things that I wanted to bring up with the Raiders here, guys, it's unfortunately going to be somewhat of the same. There's been a lot of talks about quarterback movement, whether if it's going to be Derek Carr moving, whether if it's going to be Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, all kinds of different quarterbacks that can potentially move. Who's going to be the quarterback of the Colts? Who's going to be the quarterback of maybe the Dolphins? So on and so forth. The reporting that has been coming about with Aaron Rodgers here lately has been talking about that the team has been openly saying that they're willing to go ahead and shop him around, see what team would be available or would want or be interested in him. Sounds like they overall want to go and send him off or trade him to an AFC team, so that way they're not having to maybe see him depending on the team that they're going to be playing with, or that they're going to be trading him to on the NFC side. So it's most likely just a thing of they just don't want to see him playing against them as often as they would. So sending him out to an AFC team would definitely be smart. It sounds like there's only a few AFC teams that are really going to be looking for a quarterback. I know the Raiders are definitely one of them. And to me, the more and more I think about it, it would just be smart to bring that to rekindle that connection of Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. I'm pretty sure that'll keep Davante Adams happy. I'm pretty sure you can work some sort of a thing where you can be very transparent with Aaron Rodgers and tell him like, hey, we are going to be looking to draft a young quarterback here soon. We want him to going to just sit behind you, learn the ropes, and when you are ready to hang it up, he will be your successor. Kind of deal. If they can figure out some sort of way to do all that, really, really try to go and be transparent with these guys and help them understand that they want to keep them around, but they want to also make sure that they have a backup plan at the same time. And that's how you build some sort of success. I really, really hope that the rumors with Tom Brady are really just that, rumors. Because I really hope that there's actual traction again with Aaron Rodgers. I think not only just, speaking of traction, because I do believe there is more tread on those tires with Aaron Rodgers. I do believe he can at least give you 3, maybe 4 strong seasons if he wanted to. But for sure, at least give you 2. Now, we don't know. I know Tom is Tom, and I don't know. Tom Brady is Tom Brady and everything. And yes, he's won all those championships. Yes, he's had all the success and everything. But I just can't get down with the idea of Tom Brady being an Oakland or a Raider, just being a Raider in general. I can't see that happening. But we'll have to see what it is. We'll have to see what happens. I don't know. It is just one of those things. This off season is going to be interesting. There's going to be all kinds of eyes all over the Raiders. We already know that that's the case every single off season, every single season. No matter whether the Raiders are doing well or whether they're not doing well, it's always a thing. They're always in the news. They're always in the media. It is what it is. So also just wanted to bring up, if you guys haven't seen it, if you guys don't follow this guy, definitely go ahead and drop him a follow. Check out Max Crosby's Instagram. If you haven't done so, this guy went out and had did a little pickup game in some park, I'm guessing around here in Henderson or Vegas, and he ended up balling out. You can see him dunk a couple of times and everything in this night. It just shows the type of athlete that this guy is. And it really just kind of, the one thing also, I'm surprised that he wasn't included in this all-team NFL thing, with Josh Jacobs, Davante Adams, and Darren Collison. I'm surprised he wasn't on there because, damn, or maybe because it was the offensive side, but if he's not in that conversation, I don't know what the hell these people were looking at. But it is what it is when it comes down to that. Again, guys, I will be talking everything about Raiders when it comes down to anything. Anytime that there's any kind of big news, definitely expect me to go and record a podcast. Similar to like I did with the Lakers when that trade was announced. I'll definitely make sure to go ahead and do some sort of breaking news kind of podcast or something like that. So with that being said, guys, I do just want to transition on over to the Lakers, talk to you about Rui Hachimura, the newest Laker, and then talk to you about the return of Anthony Davis as well, just to go in and wrap up the podcast from there. And then we'll kind of do a little look ahead with the Lakers and all that from their big road trip that they got coming up. So with that being said, I do want to take a quick second here, guys, just to go and remind you guys to go and hit up this page on Instagram. It is called Rosie's Designs EST 2022. If you guys haven't checked it out, definitely go ahead and do so. If you have any sort of events or parties or anything like that coming up, especially with Valentine's Day, definitely go ahead and check it out, because you can have any kind of customized chip bag, any kind of customized snack bag or something like that, whether if it's a particular design you have, or maybe a font or colors or anything that you got in mind. Definitely go ahead and let my wife know. She'll be able to come up with some amazing designs, especially if you see some of the stuff that she has already came up with as well. You'll be definitely surprised on that. So if you haven't done so already, definitely go and do so. It is Rosie's Designs EST 2022. She even has a giveaway going on as well, where you can go ahead and not only check out the product, but as well get something for free. So that is Rosie's Designs EST 2022. Go ahead and drop a follow, and I guarantee you won't be disappointed. So just to go and wrap up the podcast here, guys, and just to go and talk about the Lakers here. Lakers have been, I don't know, it's been an up and down season, of course, but part of it being injuries, part of it just getting the team acclimated with each other, getting them used to playing with each other, and just building that cohesiveness or building that chemistry with each other. Now, I know it could even be a little bit harder now because you are bringing in new pieces, and then you're bringing in pieces that were out for a little while, but now you are able to go ahead and reacclimate them. You have Rui Hachimura, you have Anthony Davis, who just came back, then you're going to be having Austin Reeves, Lonnie Walker coming back as well. So it keeps you wondering, what is Darvin Ham going to be doing? I'll tell you one thing, I was super surprised that Anthony Davis did not start in that game against the Spurs on his return night. Now, I can understand why and everything, you had him on limited minutes, but eventually I would be curious to go and see what Darvin Ham is going to be putting out there as the starting lineup, whether if it's going to be including Rui Hachimura, whether if it's going to be including Thomas Bryant, and so on and so forth. I'm wondering if they're going to be. I wonder if he's going to do the Twin Towers thing, where you're going to have Thomas Bryant at the center position, and then having Anthony Davis in the power forward position. I would think that that's actually going to be the better option. You have the whole Twin Towers thing, then you have a big lineup with LeBron at the 3, and then you put Lonnie Walker, Dennis Schroeder, or Austin Reeves and Dennis Schroeder, or something around that line. If you have Russ coming off the bench, you have Rui coming off the bench, you either have Austin or Lonnie coming off the bench, you even have Wenyen Gabriel coming off the bench. You really can see that this team is now starting to form a little bit better, and you even see that they have more size with the trade that sent Kendrick Nunn over to the Wizards, and then brought Rui Hachimura to the Lakers. So with that, you can definitely see that there's just an overall collective size with the team, and I'm thinking that overall it's not only just going to help out on the defensive side, because in my opinion, having Anthony Davis is the big reason why our defense is going to start to get a little bit better, why they're going to be able to function better, being able to go ahead and play multiple styles, be able to go to not only just going to be very great in their drop coverage, which is their main defensive scheme, but then also with having Anthony Davis, it allows you to play multiple different styles at a very high level on defense. If you want to switch on defense, Anthony Davis helps out with that. Say you put, you got people like you do Russ, who's big enough to go and switch on just about anybody. You can even hang with some of these big centers sometimes because of how strong he is. You can put somebody out there like a Lonnie Walker, possibly a Dennis Schroeder. You can put a guy out there like a LeBron, like a Rui Hachimura, and Anthony Davis. That is a complete switching lineup. Maybe even if you want to put like a guy like Wenyen Gabriel out there, or Juan Toscano Anderson, you can put out there, just to going to be able to put a different look, or just to be able to put guys that can switch onto other defenders, where that they can defend on the perimeter and they can hang with being down low as well. They have the strength in order to go to do this, in order to do that. So it is going to be just interesting to go and see not only just the starting lineup, but who's going to be closing, who's going to be, who's going to be playing certain minutes and everything, this and that, what kind of lineups we're going to be seeing out there. I am just, because even if you have like a guy like Wenyen Gabriel, Thomas Bryant, and sure, even if you put Anthony Davis out there, or even Rui Hachimura, which is really the great thing, is that you have guys like Rui who can play the 3-4. He can even hang in there with some of the smaller fives in the league as well, similar to like Wenyen Gabriel. So it is just interesting to go and see what's going to be coming about this team, and I'm really thinking that we're not going to be done as far as making any kind of trades. There's been some talks about maybe Jordan Clarkson, maybe Kyle Kuzma, and with Jordan Clarkson, I can totally understand. Maybe if you see, the thing is, I don't know who you're going to want to trade for Jordan Clarkson. You know, if in my eyes, if it's gonna be anybody at this point, maybe you might, if they are interested in Daniel Jones, but I don't really think they would be. I'm not even sure how much money Clarkson is making, and I'm thinking in order to make that happen, I believe it has to be somebody like a Pat Bev or something like that to be traded. But I'm not even sure if that these are things that are 100% possible. There's even some talks about that maybe Russ might be going back over to the Wizards, and maybe that'll bring back Kyle Kuzma, maybe some other players or something like that. It sounds like maybe even the Buddy Hield and Miles Turner trade might still be in the books, or might still be possible. You know, if they would come up to the Lakers or call the Lakers, be like, hey, you remember that trade, you know, that we talked about earlier this season, you know, for Buddy Hield and Miles Turner for Russ and a first round pick, or two of them. Yeah, we'll even take one. If they say something like that, like we'll take Russ and one, sure, done deal, let's do it. You know, it's in my eyes, it's definitely crucial that, and not crucial anymore, because I do think that they have at least enough now to make a deep playoff run, or maybe to make some sort of a playoff run, maybe at least win one series, but not finish like in the playoffs, like in the play-in tournament, to like actually be like in the 6th or 5th seed. So they would at least play one round, and I'm pretty sure at least win that one round. Now, if they make another move, that'll still improve the roster. Now again, you have to go and wonder if all these added pieces are gonna mess up the chemistry that the team has kind of already built. Maybe you might say that, but I'm thinking because of the time that Anthony Davis has lost already, or has lost due to injury, you know, you're gonna have that anyways. You're gonna have that period of time where you're gonna have to go ahead and, you know, build up chemistry and figure out exactly how to play with each other, how to play basketball with each other. And overall, I mean, it's just gonna take time. You even see the year that the Lakers ended up picking up Markieff Morris. You notice that he pretty much just fit in right away. I mean, if you get people, or you guys get enough players who know how to play basketball at least well, they will figure it out. You know, it is just one of the things, you know, maybe the Lakers might be looking into the buyout market at this point to go and see who's going to be bought out and who's going to be available there. You know, the Lakers have always been a team who's always really been super active or super aggressive in that buyout market. So we'll have to go and see. But I am thinking that the Lakers are not done. They're going to be making some sort of a move, some sort of a trade, or maybe a signing or something like that once the, you know, buyout market comes about. So we'll have to go and see when it comes down to that. The last couple things here that I wanted to go and bring up are this road trip that the Lakers got going on. We got the Celtics, we got Brooklyn, you got New York. I think we're even going to go against the Pelicans as well. So it's definitely going to be an interesting road trip. Now, the game against the Celtics, I am hoping with, actually all these games, I am hoping with the addition of Rui Hachimura, with having Anthony Davis back now, maybe the Lakers are able to go in and come up with some victories out of this. I'm really surprised, or not surprised, but I'm really happy, partially surprised on how well the Lakers ended up doing during the time that Anthony Davis was out. They damn near got to the point where they were like almost a 500 team while he was out. Pretty much 500 team while he was out, and that's definitely impressive when it comes down to it. I believe now we're only like 2 games away from being 500 exactly. So you definitely want to see what the Lakers are able to do moving forward down the line. So this road trip, I think, is really going to be determination, or really determine maybe how the rest of the season goes. Maybe if they make another move or something like that, because you got some tough teams coming up, especially going up against the Celtics, especially knowing how well we did against them the last game. You know, maybe we're able to build off of that. Maybe this time we're actually able to come up with the victory. You know, but we'll see what happens. Those 2 games against Brooklyn, even though maybe I believe KD might or might not be playing. We have even New York with Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson over there, so definitely another tough game. But especially anytime you're in New York, you definitely want to go to make sure you're coming out with victories and everything out there, because it is such a tough place to go in and play. But we'll have to go in and see. Then we even have the Pelicans towards the end of the road trip as well, where we'll see Zion Williams hopefully, and then Brandon Ingram, which I believe he's actually coming back from injury, so we'll get to go and see an old time Laker there. So with that being said, it is going to be a tough road trip. I am hoping. Let me just double check. I believe it's 4 or 5 games. It's crazy too, because it's going to go all the way out until like the 7th of February. Kind of crazy how, it's like 5 games in 10 days. And I know that this is like part of what the NBA has done, where they have partnered up with a lot of logistic companies and everything, and they've helped them out with being able to limit traveling time by having these longer road trips, where the teams having to go ahead and travel to 4 or 5 different games before they actually head home or something like that. And I get it, maybe some people are kind of mad about that or something like that, maybe thinking it's not the best thing for them, but hey, if it limits travel, which in my eyes, traveling to all these different places over and over and over again probably makes it worse. But if you're on the East Coast, you hit up 3 East Coast teams, eventually you're going to adapt to it. Eventually you're going to be cool with it. But overall, if you go to New York, you play a game, you have to fly back home, and then in 2 more days you have to fly back over to the East Coast, I would have been like, I'd rather just stay in New York, or I'd rather just stay on the East Coast somewhere, But that's just me. If it is that maybe it's not working out or something like that, or maybe people are kind of noticing that there's more home victories because of that reason, then whatever the case is. But I think it's actually a really good idea for everybody in general, honestly. But we'll see what happens there, guys. I am thinking the Lakers might be able to come out at least 500, but I'm hoping that at least to win 2 more, maybe end up 3-1 or something like that, or 3, or maybe 4-2, depending. I believe it's either 3-2 or maybe 4-1. They'll end up. I'm thinking that maybe the only game that they might lose to would be the Celtics or maybe the Pelicans. But I am thinking with the return of Anthony Davis, with the new addition of Rui, maybe the team's able to build up something, maybe show them something that they really haven't seen before, or anything like that. Maybe build off of something that they worked on in practice, and it's going to throw them a curveball or something during that game, and they can come away with the victory. So we'll see what happens on that, guys. It is just going to be an interesting time for the Lakers, for all these teams. It is one of the big reasons why I really enjoy covering or just even talking about these 3 teams. But with that being said, this is going to wrap up the podcast here for today, guys. It is, again, Friday. I hope you guys have a great Friday, a great weekend as well. Unless if anything happens over the weekend, and I'll most likely talk to you guys until Monday. I'll, again, try to be more consistent. Maybe we'll do at least 2-3 podcasts in the week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and just kind of keep it rolling from there. But again, hope you guys have a great day, great weekend. Take care of yourself, take care of your family. Tell everybody in your family, everybody that you love them. And take care, guys. Peace.